The news didn't simply appear, it exploded. One quiet morning in Los Angeles, a single headline tore across Hollywood like a lightning strike. Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson are expecting their first baby boy together. Within minutes, social media spiraled into chaos, tabloids pushed emergency notifications, and fan communities were already battling in heated comment sections. It felt unreal, almost absurd, yet no one could look away. People were asking the same question. Where did this start, and how could two stars with separate lives suddenly be tied together by something this big? The first spark came from a blurry set of photos leaked online. Dakota Johnson, normally calm and guarded, was seen leaving a private appointment with what many described as a protective gesture over her stomach. The lighting wasn't clear, the angle wasn't flattering, yet fans dissected every pixel as if it were undeniable evidence. A few hours later, Jamie Dornan was photographed stepping out of a studio, visibly distracted, checking his phone repeatedly, and refusing all interview questions, unusual for someone usually so relaxed and polite. The internet did what it always does. It connected the dots, even when the dots didn't belong together. But this time, there was history that made the public hesitate before dismissing the rumor. Their connection wasn't new. Since the day 50 Shades of Grey began filming, Hollywood insiders whispered about the strange electricity between Jamie and Dakota, an energy too natural, too intense, too synchronized to be just acting. Behind-the-scenes footage only fueled the fire. The soft touches, the lingering eye contact, the quiet conversations to calm each other before emotional scenes. Directors praised their ability to slip into intimacy effortlessly, and even critics admitted their chemistry felt frighteningly real. Through the years, rumors came and went, dinner conversations, private meetings, late-night rehearsals that went longer than scheduled. Each time, both stars denied anything romantic, insisting they were just close colleagues who trusted one another deeply. And after the 50 Shades franchise wrapped, the stories slowly faded, until now. So why did this particular rumor explode with 10 times more power than every rumor before it? Because everything aligned too perfectly. The timing, the images, the secretive behavior, and most importantly, the recent drama surrounding both of their personal lives. Dakota had kept unusually quiet for weeks, stepping back from public appearances and avoiding press events. Meanwhile, Jamie had been battling a wave of online speculation about tension inside his household. The coincidence felt too sharp to be ignored. Then came the detail that pushed the rumor into full-blown frenzy. Sources claimed it wasn't just a pregnancy, it was specifically a baby boy. The specificity made the story feel too detailed to be random gossip, and within hours, the narrative spread everywhere from TikTok fan edits to mainstream entertainment news outlets. Hollywood was shaken. The industry thrives on scandal, but this one hit differently. Producers began calling each other asking if they knew something. PR teams scrambled to prepare statements, just in case. Paparazzi doubled their numbers outside Dakota's residence. Journalists drafted stories predicting how this revelation could reshape two major careers. Even veteran actors, people who have seen every form of chaos imaginable, privately admitted they were stunned. Still, the biggest shock came at sunset, when a supposed insider from a production Dakota recently worked on anonymously posted. This rumor didn't come from nowhere. People close to them have known something for months. That single sentence detonated the internet. Suddenly, fans weren't simply theorizing, they were convinced. Editorial pages changed tone from, "Is it true?" to, "Here's what our sources say." Online detectives dug through months of footage, comparing old interviews to new ones, analyzing body language frame by frame. Was Jamie really more protective of Dakota during their last public reunion? Did her smile look softer, more emotional than usual? Did he avoid mentioning his personal life on purpose? Did she glance down at her stomach subtly during that last red carpet moment? The speculation became a storm, and for the first time in years, Jamie and Dakota were at the center of Hollywood's most explosive narrative, one that neither of them had spoken a single word about. And just as the chaos reached its peak, another source stepped forward with a claim that would twist everything even further, hinting that the truth behind the rumor was far more complicated than anyone imagined. The whispers grew louder when a second insider, someone rumored to be connected to Jamie's team, quietly reached out to a small, reputable entertainment outlet. Their message was short, but it changed everything. People got one detail right, but the rest of the story is completely misunderstood. Suddenly the narrative shifted. What detail was right? What was wrong? And why would someone from Jamie's circle speak now, at the height of the chaos? Within hours, the outlet released a long, cryptic article hinting that a private meeting between Jamie and Dakota months earlier had been the root of the entire rumor. According to the insider, the meeting was emotional, personal, and connected to something deeply sensitive, not romantic, but still powerful enough to spark confusion if seen from the outside. Hollywood went into meltdown. If the meeting wasn't romantic, then what was it? Why the secrecy? Why would both of them be so tense afterward? And more importantly, how did a misunderstanding turn into a headline claiming they were expecting a baby boy? That question inflamed every corner of the entertainment world. Paparazzi swarmed Dakota's driveway. Fans camped outside Jamie's filming locations, hoping for a comment. Everyone wanted clarity, but both actors stayed silent. The silence only made the rumor feel more real. Then the emotional fallout began. People close to Amelia Warner, Jamie's wife, revealed she was overwhelmed, angry, and exhausted by the speculation. Not because she believed the rumor, but because she knew how relentless the media could be, and how quickly a lie could ruin a family's peace. Friends said she avoided social media entirely and was focused on keeping things normal for their children. Chris Martin, Dakota's longtime partner, was also dragged into the whirlwind. His calm, gentle persona was suddenly placed under a spotlight as tabloids speculated whether he felt betrayed or threatened by Dakota's connection to Jamie. Some outlets falsely claimed he unfollowed accounts, allegations his team denied, but the damage was already done. The world had created a love triangle none of them asked for. Meanwhile, fan communities split into factions. Some defended Jamie fiercely, insisting he would never risk his marriage. Some believed Dakota was unfairly targeted and that the rumor was rooted in sexism. Others fueled the chaos, convinced that their on-screen chemistry had finally crossed into reality. And in the middle of all the noise, the truth quietly surfaced, not through a public statement, but through a leaked piece of context that completely reframed the situation. Months earlier, Dakota had been dealing with a private health concern, nothing dangerous, but personal and emotionally heavy. Jamie, known for being compassionate and protective of those he cares about, had reached out. They met privately, away from cameras, to support each other in a difficult moment. The gesture was heartfelt, deeply human, and rooted in a long friendship built through years of intense filming together. A bystander saw the meeting. A paparazzi overheard a fragment of conversation. Someone misinterpreted Dakota's hand on her abdomen, a subconscious gesture she often made when she was anxious. The baby boy detail came from a completely different place. Dakota's close friend had recently welcomed a son, and Dakota had been helping the new mother prepare for a small private celebration. A cake order, a blue ribbon, a baby gift. All innocent, but a paparazzo photographed the items out of context and sold the pictures to tabloids hungry for drama. It was the perfect storm of misunderstanding. Yet by the time the truth reached the public, the narrative had already grown into a monster. That was when Jamie finally broke his silence. In a brief, carefully written message shared with a trusted journalist, he expressed frustration at how deeply the rumor had affected the people he cared about. He didn't mention Amelia by name, but he referred to protecting my family's peace. He didn't mention Dakota, but he wrote about kindness being twisted into speculation. Most importantly, he urged fans and media to let go of fantasies built from fragments. The tone was calm, but the emotion beneath it was unmistakable: exhaustion, disappointment, and a quiet plea for the world to allow him to live without being turned into a character in a fictional scandal. Dakota responded later in her own subtle way. In an interview unrelated to the rumor, she mentioned how people love to build stories from shadows, and that genuine friendships should not be weaponized. She didn't deny anything directly. She didn't have to. Her expression, her voice, her steadiness said everything. But even as the truth settled, Hollywood remained uneasy. Because at the core of the entire storm was a deeper question no one could fully answer. Why does the world want Jamie and Dakota to be involved so badly? Why does their bond, real or imagined, hold such power? And after this scandal, will their friendship ever be the same? The rumor had been debunked, the explanations made clear, yet the fascination refused to die. Whispers continued in private circles. If a small misunderstanding could create such an explosion, what would happen if something real ever surfaced between them? Hollywood wasn't ready to move on, not yet.